హాయ్ గైస్, నేను ఇప్పటివరకు ఈ ఛానల్లో మీకు ఆటోమొబైల్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఇన్నోవేషన్ తీసుకొచ్చిన వాళ్ళని, మ్యూజిక్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో వాళ్ళని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశాను. బట్ కానీ మన ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఇన్నోవేషన్ తీసుకొస్తే మన లైఫ్ని ఈజ్ చేస్తూ, అంటే మనకి రీసెర్చ్ సైడ్ ఇవన్నీ ఈజ్ చేసిన వాళ్ళని ఈరోజు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయబోతున్నాను. టిజోరీ టీమ్. టిజోరీ పేరు మీరు వినే ఉంటారు కదా. చాలా ఇన్నోవేషన్ తీసుకొస్తుంది రీసెర్చ్ సైడ్. రీసెర్చ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ఏదైతే మనం బిల్డ్ చేస్తున్నారో, ఈ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ఒక ప్రమోటర్స్ బోత్ సిద్ధార్థ్ అండ్ వరుణ్ ఇద్దరు చాలా మంచి వాళ్ళు. మనం అడగగానే చాలా మంచి టైం ఇచ్చారు. అండ్ వాళ్ళ జర్నీ గురించి, అండ్ అలాగే టిజోరీ గురించి, అండ్ అలాగే టిజోరీలోని మనం ఈజీగా కొన్ని టూల్స్ యూజ్ చేసుకుని మంచి మంచి కంపెనీలని ఎలా సెర్చ్ చేయొచ్చు, అండ్ సెర్చ్ చేసిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళ మీద ఫర్దర్గా రీసెర్చ్ చేసి ఎలా ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయొచ్చు క్లియర్గా ఈ వీడియోలో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు. మీకు చాలా చాలా నేర్చుకోవడానికి అయితే డెఫినెట్లీ హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ దీంతోపాటు ఒక సర్ప్రైజ్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ కూడా ఉన్నది మన మనీ పర్సన్స్ అందరికీ. సో వీడియోని చివరి వరకు చూడడం మిస్ అవ్వకండి. లెట్ మీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ సిద్ధార్థ్ అండ్ వరుణ్ నౌ. Hi Varun and hi Siddharth. First of all, thanks a lot for taking out your time and giving us this 1 hour to explain about Tizori. My first question to both of you. Okay, where did Tizori name came from, and how did you guys got this idea of starting a financial research website?
Yeah, so name, I don't think we remember where it came from. But how we started was basically we've been in the same school and same college and stuff together. So we know each other since forever. And we've been investing like most of our money in the market since we were in college. So, I mean, in college, it wasn't much money, but whatever we had, we used to invest. So that obviously leads to a lot of discussions and readings and stuff. And, we used to try to find a lot of business data on companies, save it in Excel sheets and all that. And then we obviously thought that we won't be the only guys needing this info. So let's just make a website out of it and see what happens.
Right.
It was more of let's see who uses it, and it wasn't a big plan or anything.
Right. So initially, like, we used to just track everything on Excel. Like, there was a lot of information available about financial statements, but nothing about the business overview of companies per se, which we could easily find. So we used to track that. It used to be a big pain, and we used to just host it online. So we were getting good feedback. Then we started 50 companies, 100 companies, and then it just went from there, basically.
Okay. When did you guys started Tizori Finance?
2017 December or 2018 Jan or so. I mean, that's when we thought that let's put the Excel onto
A website.
Okay. But the website maybe in 2019 or so it started. But
Properly, So we've been at it for about 2-3 years, but a proper website has been there for the last 15-20 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I remember I started using from 2020 beginning.
Okay.
Either it's Jan or Feb. I think I started using. And you guys are building brilliant website. And most of my subscribers really know about Tizori because I keep speaking about Tizori, and wherever I pull data, I use Tizori website most of the times. You guys help me a lot in doing a lot of research. First, I need to thank you for that. And Siddharth, tell me your background.
So, I mean, we both grew up in Bangalore. So we studied in Bangalore. We did engineering also in RV College in Bangalore together, basically. After that, I was in KPMG for a while. So I was working in consulting in India and in the UK for a while. And then this sort of pulled us back towards the space, but we were completely in a different space professionally. But personally, on weekends and after hours, this is what our passion and interest was lying in. And then it took us about 3-4 years of working somewhere else to realize that, okay, fine, this is our main pull, so that's how we got drawn back to this.
Okay. Varun, your background?
Yeah. So like he said, same school, same college, RV College. Worked in 2-3 different places after that. Then I did my master's also in Zurich in mathematics. And then I got back here, and before I got back here only, we knew that let's just do this full time. So I just got done with my master's as soon as possible, and I came here.
Okay. And second thing, whenever I open Tizori, I see a new feature which gets added. So where do you want to take Tizori? What's your dream?
So the thing is, I mean, if you've seen Tizori right now, we started off with the harder parts. By that harder, I mean, it's like we knew that financial statements were easily available. We knew that shareholding data was easily available, but market share, operational metrics, revenue mix was missing. So the first version just had that and zero financials. Then, so we started first with things which are harder to do, and then we are plugging the basic things. So even if you look at Tijori today, there are, many emails we get right now is like, how can you not have an earnings calendar? How can you not have good, things like that, corporate filing. So according to us, those are things which are relatively easy to plug in. We still want to work on the harder problems because we think in time we can just sort those out. So we are balancing between, okay, fine, we'll fix one hard problem and then try to plug in 3 easy to get data sources, fix one hard problem. But essentially our end game is we want this product to be something where retail investors can track easily and do research easily. And it's our job to find the harder data sources, clean it up and make it easily consumable for everyone.
Okay. How many people are working for Tijori now? Sorry, Varun, you're saying something.
No, I was just going to say that, I mean, if you just see big picture right now, what we think, at least for investors, what's more important is the unstructured type of data like business data, market share data, optometric data. It's just that it's the other way around. People look more at financial data because that's what's more easily available. It's not like it's more important. If business data was more easily available, people will look at that first. So it's chicken and egg, and we want to first structure all the unstructured data out there, make that as digestible as the P&L and balance sheet and cash. So that's where we are going.
Right.
Okay. So how many people other than Siddharth and Varun, how many people are working for Tijori?
We're a team. So initially it was just 3 or 4 of us. Now we've got about 15 people in our team right now.
15 people. Okay. And second thing, I get this doubt on regular interval. See, many people when they launch their product, they come with a big bang launch. They come with all the features filled with in the product, and they promote it like anything. But Tijori, I see you keep adding one by one feature and you keep moving ahead. Okay, why is it like that?
So like we were saying, we started small and we are going up. So we are not, we are not going the whole funded way where we hire 50 people and then build everything on day one and give it. So we build it organically, see what people like. I mean, as you know, we've also we have a subscription. So we're kind of bootstrapped. So what money comes in, we plow it back in. So we're growing organically, which is why you see one thing at a time. I mean, if it was the other way around where, we had raised money and stuff, we maybe would have hired 40, 50 people and made everything on day one. But we are.
So the thing is, we think this is we love this way to grow because every new thing that we put out, we get immense feedback, and it's at the early stage only so that we can fine tune it. Because you build something at scale, then it becomes difficult and you don't know whose feedback to take after a point. So from the beginning, we've had users who've been so passionate about what we're doing. They constantly give us detailed feedback, and it's really helped us shape. And we think in the long run, this kind of approach will build we have a solid foundation to an extent. So this feedback just helps us, give us confidence to build the next feature.
Okay, that means you don't have external funding. You are investing your own money, right? Till now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it started, I think, 2-3 months back now. That is the time I've subscribed. But before that, it was a free website, and you were investing all the money. Yes. So that means you're spending a lot of money, because I know the guy who is providing data for you, I used his services, and it's damn expensive.
Yes. So
how much you guys would have invested?
So
it's definitely been most of our net worth has gone into this.
Okay.
But like you were saying, like the data providers are expensive. Then we are based out of Bangalore here. Usual operating costs are also there. So it's quite, and we want our business model to be clean. Like we're not doing ads or selling data of users or nothing. It's just if you find the website useful, then subscribe.
Yeah.
It's as simple and straightforward as that.
Yeah. So as we grow, we want to be in a position to be able to subscribe to more data vendors, more data sources. So the end user gets access to much, much more. But of course, like this is the limit where we can support it on our own. And now if it becomes useful for people in general, we'll get more subscription, which will give us more access to get more high quality data, more faster, things like that.
True, I agree. From the day one, I was wondering because the data you guys are able to provide it in your platform, it's so expensive, and without charging anything, it's impossible to offer
Yeah.
such kind of services.
Right.
Many of my subscribers know Tizori. I think they know it, but people who don't know, can you brief us what can be done in Tizori? You
Sure.
can do screen sharing.
I can share my screen and just walk you through it basically. Just one
Yeah.
second. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
All right. So let me just start with how you research one company. This is our landing page. Most people find it little. I mean, how do you have such a white blank page? But we like it because you go straight to the point in what you're looking for. So I'll just start with one company. Say, for instance, you want to look at Airtel. So the first thing that we show when you search for a company is the market share. Like right initially, I was saying that we focus on data points which is not generally available. So what is Airtel's market share in telecom and broadband comes out. The next aspect we focus on is what is their revenue mix. So where does Airtel get its money from? So Airtel gets its money from mobile. They get digital TV, some revenue. Location wise, India is important to Airtel. Africa is also important to Airtel. Africa has been growing year on year. So how do we get these pieces of information? So beyond just company filings, which is the balance sheet, P&L, and the share price, they release annual reports, investor presentations, and a bunch of documents with BSE and NSE. Right. So we index all this information and scrape out the useful things which we think are useful. Right. So another key area is like the operational metrics for Airtel. So because it's a mobile player, the key metrics for Airtel will be what is their average revenue per user, 2, how many subscribers they have. So you can click on any of these graphs that gets plotted, and you can compare this against any competitor. So you can see Airtel versus Vodafone versus Reliance. And of course, the trend line is now very visible of how Vodafone is going down. But what we do is not just put out this piece of information, but we update it as frequently as possible. That means as and when a company releases a filing, you'll find this data. So as of May 2021, we've got this information.
So this is what we were meaning by structuring unstructured data.
Yeah.
As soon as the quarterly results come out, you might see it in many places that, it's available. But as soon as the ARPU comes out, where do you go to see it and where do you go to see its trend line?
Right.
So that's what.
So I'll just take another example. So if you look at HDFC Bank, again, market share most important, and what we are doing right now, Sai, maybe you'll be able to see it soon, is the trend line of market share. So that means how the credit card market share for HDFC has been growing or declining. So we have it month on month. We've just not had the time to update our front end to show it from a static data point to a graph to see that is this increasing or decreasing. So we track.
That's awesome feature, yeah. That's really awesome feature. Okay.
Go ahead. So is it increasing? Is it decreasing? So we just go through the entire filing and see what are the market share points we can get out. In terms of HDFC, who does it focus on? So retail banking is 48% of its book. How do we get this data? Under every data source, we've got a button called source. So you click on that button, it goes into this annual report or the filing where we've got this piece of information.
You go to the exact page.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is the 2021 filing of HDFC. So basically what you can do is validate the data point and confirm it or analyze more. So how we think about Tizori is we're just a starting point. So we give you that basic overview and you can dig deeper by going into the filing and looking at it in that manner, right? So again, Sai, this is also another thing. You'll be able to see the trend line for HDFC's banking. So over the last 4 or 5 years, we've got the data. You'll know how retail banking is increasing or decreasing. We just need to modify our front end to just give you that trend line view. Soon we'll do that as well. So if you saw previously in a telecom company, we were tracking what is the ARPU, what is their number of subscribers. For a bank, the metrics are completely different. So in this case, what is its net interest margin? What is its gross NPA? Again, you can plot any of these graphs, compare it against any bank. So you can say, okay, I want to see against Kotak.
Hmm.
And just see against any metric. So graphically viewing things just helps you get a good analysis of things, and this is how we designed it.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one point to add, Siddharth
Sure.
here. Can I add manually few ratios which I want to add? Because I generally track for few companies, few ratios. Okay.
Right.
If I can get a page where I can add it and search for it, so that will give me some more.
Definitely. So basically the thing right now is this is the ratios and the metrics which we thought is important for banking, which is not the universe of things. So maybe we'll have a section saying that suggests a ratio, and then we'll collate that feedback as well and keep building. And I mean, to answer your question in another way, initially when we started about 15 months back, we must have had 3-4 metrics per company. Through user feedback, they told us CASA versus liabilities is too important to take that also. So we've just been collating feedback and building it as well. Okay, but good point. We will try to track that as well.
Okay.
Next section is our benchmarking section. So here you can compare all.
I mean, we're just showing what
I'll
is
just give you
differentiated between us and
any other research platform. So here you can compare, I mean, use this to compare HDFC versus any bank. Here is on the financial side. As you scroll lower, you can see it on the business side as well. So for instance, we've auto selected these three. You can say that, okay, I want to compare it against Bandhan Bank as well. Just add that. And immediately, not just the financial metrics, but even the business metrics, you can see, okay, fine. HDFC is so big in consumer finance, and Bandhan Bank has 84% in consumer finance. Like, I mean, for us, this is very, very important because we used to track this on Excel, and it used to take us hours to be able to do some sort of simple analysis.
Like if you ask someone, tell me the difference between Bandhan Bank and HDFC Bank's book, it'll take you some time.
Yeah. So who we think Tijori is useful for is if you are analyzing the financial statements and if you're actually making the effort to read the annual reports, investor presentation, this is a great starting point. So we will immediately give you that red flag to say, okay, this is not worth your time to read that AR. I mean, you have to go through the AR, you have to go through the investor presentations, but this is just gives you that initial filter to say, okay, this is worth my effort to study this or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. And I could able to recollect in 2018, me and my colleague Rais both have done a lot of research on chemical industry because that's when we were bullish on chemical sector, and we did that Excelgiri, and we were working literally for 3 days to gather all the data, input it and track it, and finally filtering 4-5 companies. It was a hectic task. Yeah. These tools will reduce that time.
Certainly. I'll just touch upon the financials. So if you click on the financials tab over here, we have the 10 years financial data. So you've got the share price, which is updated every 15 minutes, detailed balance sheet, P&L, cash flow. So you can just go through this in detail. We've got 10 years data.
One thing I find useful when I use, I can maybe show you is, I mean, it's just a quick check I do. So there's a growth table. If you see HDFC's, all its share price growth over the last 10 years has come from earnings. You can see share price has grown 20%. I'll just take an extreme example of, say, I mean, obviously Asian Paints is not a competitor of HDFC Bank, but you can add anyone here and you can see Asian Paints share price has grown 25%, but its PE has grown at 8% CAGR. Okay, so I mean, I just use it sometimes to figure out, okay, is this company's growth over the last 5-10 years driven more by sentiment or
earnings?
Yeah,
that's a good tool. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so these are just the, I mean, financials you can get anywhere. It's not a big differentiator, and I mean, I'm sure it's readily available. But if you see what we spoke about right now is company level research. And if you're invested in, I mean, if you're thinking of investing in HDFC Bank, you will also be wondering about what's happening in the banking sector. So you have a company sits inside sector obviously sits inside the economy. So if you go, we have a banking sector here. Actually, I'll show you another way. I'll go back to the home page. And you see sectors here. Over here, we cover like a lot of sectors. So
Hmm.
I'll tell you what I mean by cover, but there are about 20 sectors if I just type banking.
Okay.
So right now you were researching HDFC Bank and you saw HDFC Bank's market share and whatnot. You can now come to the sector page and you can see its market share and stuff with regard to everyone else. So supposing you had in your head that, okay, SBI is losing market share. You can see that, okay, its market share has gone down from 25% to 22%. It's lost, but not that much. Or say HDFC Bank has gained market share. Yes, you can confirm it. 7% has gone to 10% now. ICICI Bank is flat. I mean, you can add, this is just advances market share. You can see deposit market share, debit card, credit card. I mean, there are a lot of, in the end, what is the net interest income market share of every company? SBI takes 22 paisa of every rupee of interest in the country. Whatever, these are just sector level data, which if you are interested in a bank, you might be interested in what's going on in the sector. Then you can see, of course, how is bank credit growing, how are deposits growing, credit card, how it's growing, UPI, how it's growing, whatever. I mean, these are all sector level metrics which will differ sector to sector.
So, but we extract this from RBI in the case of banking, but we look at a whole bunch of industry bodies as well to build that bigger picture of overall, is the sector trend upwards or is it generally flat or how it's going?
Yeah. So if you just see, like we showed HDFC Bank in the banking sector just now, of which there was business data of HDFC Bank and financial data and banking sector data. Just for these companies, a regular investor would have had to open the AR, IP. Of course, financial data is easily available. Open AR and IP of competitors, then go to RBI's database and get all this info. I mean, that is the crux of what we're doing. That's all unstructured data everywhere. We just put it in one place.
True.
I mean,
for one sector, I can put that effort, but not for every sector. So you are giving me the data at one page. That's brilliant. And you guys provide that chemical price movement, many other variables price movement. How do you get it here?
Yeah, so maybe I'll go there. So on top, you can see raw material and markets. I'll quickly show you. I'll take 30 seconds in both and show you. So what usually happens is, like right now, if you go and you want to see what's moving in the markets, maybe you will see some Nifty is going up, down, or maximum some sectoral, Nifty bank or private bank or I don't know, IT index is going up, down. What we've done is, because we have such granular data of companies, we don't really, we look at Nifty once in a while, but we actually look at niche sectoral indices. So I'll just show you what I mean. You spoke about chemicals. So someone might have said chemicals are doing well in the last, say, 1 year. What we've done is we don't follow the chemical index. We have an agrochemical index, an alkali chemical index, polymer index. So you can see polymers have actually not grown in the last year. What's really done well, say, alkali chemical. Yeah. So we have a lot of these niche indices which you can look at.
Not just click on. So once you see alkali chemicals, where is that chemical? Yeah, you can just press the plus and see exactly which all companies are driving that.
Okay, I mean, like that, there are many indices. Like just last example, I'll give you, say, IT. People, if they say IT does well, but if you see last 5 years CAGR of large cap IT has beaten small and mid cap IT. So, but last 1 year, small cap has done well. So people will obviously forget the last 5 years. But last 5 years, this has grown 25% large cap IT.
Yes.
Anyway, and the second thing is the raw material prices, which you were talking about. If you click here, so we track prices of hundreds of chemicals. So these are all the chemicals, and these are their price change over the last 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. I mean, you can look for anything, but one cool thing that you can do is, like, say you want to know, I want to know ethyl acetate price, ETHY acetate. You can find the price obviously here. Okay, it's gone down in the last 3 months, 6 months. It's gone up. But I mean, okay, it's gone down or up. You can also click view producer and see who exactly is making this chemical. You can see consumers and you can see who exactly is buying this chemical. Because like I said, we go through IPs, annual
Yeah.
reports and stuff. So we are able to structure all the
So-
supply chain data.
Right. So we know where a company is based, what they make, what raw materials they use to make that product, what is their exposure to each geography, what is their exposure to each chemical. So the next stages on Sai on Tijori, what you will see is us using this data to make it more insightful for you.
I mean, we have vinyl acetate monomer. You can see vinyl chemicals makes it, and who consumes it is, I guess, all the adhesive companies.
This is
And
brilliant.
we have the spreads also in case I mean, if you're buying a chemical whose price is going up and your selling price is going up, it's not going to make much difference to your life. We have the spreads, and last we have the metal. This we get directly from Steelman because they are the best source.
Yeah.
So like we were saying, we get data from all these different sources, and it's a little bit of a hectic job. So I guess a lot of people were pointing out our ferrochrome prices all over social media and all. Like if you see last 1 month only, it's gone up 20%. And how you can make it actionable is just click who's making ferrochrome. And for example, you might not have heard of Maitan or Indian Metal and Ferro or whatever. You can quickly see that, it's just a way to discover a company. Okay, what does Maitan alloy do? And you can Silico Manganese, same thing. I don't know what Sarda Energies, maybe you can check. So these are the raw material prices we track right now. What's in the pipeline is more metal prices, like the basic ones. Like we were saying, we've done the tough ones first. So the basic ones like aluminum and copper and nickel and all we'll get to now. And fertilizer prices are what we are also looking to integrate here.
Okay.
So we spoke about company research and in that sector research, and then monitoring the markets and raw materials. Last thing I'll quickly show you is our filter. So I guess a lot of your users are already used to a filter where you can type something like
Yes.
Give me companies with 5-year average ROC greater than 15 and market cap less than 10,000 crores. And you'll obviously get a lot of companies, and you can do it anywhere. But like you were saying, you and your team broke your head in finding chemical companies. So what you can also type on Tijori and how it differentiates is.
I was about to ask you, because this normal filtering, though, it is available everywhere. So what's special?
Say I want revenue from chemicals and who have market share greater than 10%. This, if you type, it'll be a pain for you to collate. Which chemical companies have decent market share and have these financial metrics? That is a differentiator of ours, and that you will get answers only here, and you'll get it in 5 seconds. Okay. So now maybe, I don't know, maybe someone would have never heard of diamines and chemicals. Right. And this is a micro cap company, or Akshar Chem is a micro cap company, has 45% market share in vinyl sulfur. I don't know this company and I've never cited, but I'm just saying that
yes,
it's a way to discover.
It will help us to do that filtering work. Okay, reduces and give us few companies where we can work it out.
Absolutely, yeah. So the main crux is that we take the data which we index. That means what is the market share of a company, or what is its geography exposure, and we help you collate that. So, like for instance, at any point you can say, show me companies, or let's just say companies with revenue from Europe, or any specific geography. In case there's a conflict, you can just say that, right? So you can just be able to say any specific country, or if you got too many, you can say revenue more than 25%. Oh, that's too much. 10%. So you can not only type a keyword, you can type a value attached to that.
And so you can see some PDS multinational. I mean, it's just a way for you to get.
Our end.
Now Afghanistan, there is an issue happening. If I want to search which companies is getting revenue from Afghanistan,
I searched yesterday, we didn't get.
So generally,
but people searched for Iran last time.
Yeah, Iran you get basmati rice producers and all its supply there. But Afghanistan, we have very limited contact, so there's nothing which comes up. But our end objective is that we want to be like in natural language, in a simple way. You're thinking something, you should be able to put it down on the system and get answers.
Yeah.
So so that is our objective. So we want to be able to build more and more. Which companies have this customer? Who supplies to Maruti? You type any of those queries, we should be able to provide you with an answer.
Actually, what is happening right now is like if you want to find a company or you have some idea of, okay, I think this sector or this theme will do well. But right now we are more forced to filter by financial data because that's what's easy to program and that's what's available out there. It doesn't mean
True.
it's the most, it doesn't mean it's the best way to do it. So we just want to like change that. Like people think in ideas, you should be able to write your idea and search based on that idea. It's as simple as that.
Okay. You have added that portfolio feature as well, right? Can you just run through that?
Yeah, so it's
What
maybe,
is that we are bringing
yeah,
into the table in that feature?
yeah. So maybe I mean just one caveat that it's maybe 25% done. We have a lot of
Okay.
work to do in portfolio. I'll show it to
Okay.
you. So I mean obviously right now you can only put your stock investment, I mean direct stocks, you can't put mutual fund itself. We need to make a watch list and give you a feed of all the filings and alerts and stuff. So all that's work in progress, which is why I'm saying
Okay.
is 25% done. But
So
of
when can
what
I
we
expect that feature
Yeah.
will be added?
We're working on it,
ASAP,
like
I mean,
on
that's
priority right now.
Okay.
the watch list. The first version you should be able to get like maybe sometime this week, for sure in August only. Uh, the
So-
alerts is a bit complicated because say you own Balkrishna, say you own Avanti Feeds, we want to tell you if prices are going up down. So anyone can tell you what filing the company has done. That I just scrape BSE and I can tell you. But we want to tell you if feed prices are going up down. Or, so we have to connect with the shrimp databases all out there and stuff, and we write those integrators, which is why it takes time for us to do it because we need to combine like maybe 200-300 databases in one place.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not about only the price alert. It's about the even. Okay.
So the thing is,
No. That is easy to do.
yeah.
No?
So the thing is, the standard price alert, BSE filings, all those things will be there by default. What we want to do is we track it like in case there's a conflict with the country your company is dealing with, we will alert you. In case your raw materials of your company goes up, we'll alert you. In case the market share goes up, down, we'll alert you. So we are just integrating all that, and that will form our alert system.
See, like say one of the most track companies, HDFC Bank only. What's easy to alert you is if they make a corporate filing or if its share price goes plus minus X more or less than X%. But we want to alert you if it gains credit card market share or if it loses market share in corporate banking. For that, we need to integrate with N number of different databases, put it all in one place, which is why it's a bit complicated. But anyway, of the current version, I can show you. I mean, this is a sample portfolio. Supposing you have these companies, you can of course see how much you gain, lost. You get your returns in IRR on an IRR basis here. So that is one thing.
If I sold some stock, let's say in the middle of the year, okay, and added some stock, okay.
Yeah.
So because I booked profit from it, okay, will
Yeah.
I get my yearly analyzed return included of the exit of the stock? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So in your all positions, you will get. So this would have been maybe you exited something. I mean, in our sample portfolio, right now it's saying everything is active, but maybe you exited. Your IRR will include that.
Include that. Okay.
All buys and sells.
Okay. It also includes corporate actions, right? Yeah, I can see dividend.
Bonus, split, everything.
Okay.
It's basically an implementation of if you were tracking it in Google Sheets or Excel, if you did a XRR of what you bought and sold over time, it is that.
Okay.
Instead of doing it here, including bonus, dividend, split, everything.
You are providing what if analysis as well. Okay, many people may not know what is what if analysis.
Yeah,
for guys who doesn't know, I'm just giving small brief. Say if you would have sold some company, if you are holding it for now, okay, what could be the return? Or if you sold and bought something, is that the same feature which you are adding?
So sort of like that. Initially, what we are focusing on is the business data. Like say you are thinking today, I want to buy shares in I don't know. Some company, Tata Steel. How would that impact your geography exposure? How would that impact your risk exposure? How would that impact? It's more towards the business side.
Not on the return side. Okay. That's good.
again, back to our philosophy of doing the tough thing first.
Okay.
Because that is just a formula that we can use. I mean, what you're saying is if I am holding it A and I shifted to B, what would have been my difference? Right?
So we
True,
actually
true.
have that.
I saw that feature in Morningstar. I was using Morningstar
yeah,
for quite long time, and
yeah.
that is damn expensive. Again,
Yeah.
many people might
So
not
that
know.
is easy to do. But one thing that you can do, which Siddharth is showing you, is now say you bought all these companies, right? I mean, no one told you to sit and have a stock portfolio.
Hmm.
And you would have bought and sold shares on different dates, obviously, right? So what we do is instead of just letting you compare against indices, we've kind of prompted mutual funds also here. Okay.
Wow. Oh,
So-
wow.
So like
Okay,
you can
okay.
see,
So I can compare whether I'm beating my fund manager or
yeah.
not.
So not just that. See, your portfolio right now has 41% large cap and 51% giant caps. We found the mutual fund which have the closest possible that type of exposure first. I can't compare you to HDFC small cap fund for sure,
Yeah.
right? Because your risk is different. So first we see which is the fund closest to you. And then we see what would have happened if you bought and sold that fund. Every time you had an inflow and outflow, if you did it for that fund rather than your portfolio. So you compare to SBI blue chip fund, you're beating that. You get what I'm saying? Or say, I mean, I do this. I don't know how good this is to do, but I just see like, what if I had just bought Reliance Industries instead of any other share? If I just bought this share, what would have happened? It calculates and tells me every time I bought and sold, instead of buying and selling in my portfolio, if I bought Reliance's shares, what would have happened? As of now, I'm beating. Many times I might like over here on these dates, I was doing worse than doing something blind like just buying Reliance shares. So
This is
that is
brilliant.
one. Yeah. I mean, you can obviously track all your companies in your portfolio. What is the share price over time? And so one thing is you can track how it's doing against mutual funds. Like your portfolio's P is 31, mutual funds is this much. I guess the buy and sell date for the sample portfolio is less than 3 years. So it's not correct to make a sharp ratio for that.
Yeah.
You can track its quarterly results here, like net sales, I guess, after the latest quarter. And year on year, if you want, just click 1 year, you'll see, okay, HDFC Bank's net sale has gone down year. All that you can do, that's pretty simple. One differentiator again is apart from these indices and comparing to mutual funds is if you go to exposure, now see if you use the Morningstar tool, which is quite expensive, but Morningstar would have told you that you have 100% exposure to India, right? What we do is we take your end exposure, like TCS might be getting 60% revenue from North America and Europe. So we tell you that your portfolio is getting 23% revenue from North America.
Wow. Okay. It's not about the stock which got listed place. Okay.
No. So what Morningstar and Bloomberg and all do is they take country of domicile and take that as exposure. We are taking end revenue exposure.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
you can see that you're getting 35% of your revenue of your portfolio revenue from Asia. You click, you can see of Asia, it's only India. Right?
Okay.
You click North America, you can see in North America you're getting 0% from Canada, and I guess rest of North America must be US.
Yeah, so far we may be the only platform which is able to track this systematically.
True. I haven't seen this feature. In fact, my one question on the portfolio side. See, I have seen you have added this portfolio part long back itself, but I have not manually added my portfolio. The only reason I wanted to be doubly sure how my data will be secured, how my data would not be leaked. Okay.
So this comes back to our business model side. Like we were saying that, we want to be, I mean, our business model is simple. We charge a subscription and we use we don't have any data selling or order flow or, ads, or we're not trying to see what people are buying and all that. I mean, literally we don't care. Okay. And the second thing is, like internally also it's hard for us to see because it's all hashed and all. I mean, but that anyone can say. But I mean, it's on trust that we don't care about the data. We only charge subscription.
Yeah. I mean, basically, we have no connections with any other company. We do not get any sort of revenue other than subscription. So For us, our end customer is the most important, and we will secure it and ensure that, I mean, we have no plans also of getting revenue in any other means. So
Yeah, I mean, we take all the obvious precautions of, like what they call hashing it. So I can't just go see your data, but that I guess anyone can say. I can say it and you won't be able to audit it. But business model is what keeps it that way, that we charge subscription and so there's no, and yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so today Varun and Siddharth are less greedy and they're only depending on subscription. Tomorrow, if you guys wanted to, if you take a VC funding and the VC guy might be wanted more revenues. Okay, if he asks for the ad revenue or selling the data, okay, how willing you are, and are you looking for VC funding?
Does not happen.
So yeah, absolutely not. So basically, we do have some amount of VCs approaching us. It's only if it aligns with our overall theme. And our overall theme is in terms of data services, we think we can be a big player globally. And we think that is a clean way to do this. So for instance, our plans are right now not just focused on India. We are looking at other geographies also. And maybe I can just quickly show you. Because the way you index information from annual reports, whether it's an Indian AR or a US-based 10K filing, it's the same.
Our programs don't know it's an Indian company, right?
So,
it cares about English or not English.
So, for instance, if I just say Apple, this is freely available right now because right now we're still beta testing this. So why we will not fall under that pressure is because we think at a global scale we can do this. And like Sai was mentioning to you earlier, you can see Apple's revenue from iPhone, not just at one time, historically also, and this is something we do in India. So you'll be able to plot backwards. So basically, we think that, and of course, every single metric is over here as well. So our overall focus is on retail investors. We think there are enough retail investors getting more and more sophisticated, getting more and more need for knowledge and asking more questions nowadays. So that ties with our objective. Like if I can create a platform which makes it perfect and reduces his time greatly to do research, give him insights and provide him an ability to track, I should have absolutely no reason to find an alternative source of revenue, right? So our thing is, if I cannot scale this sustainably, we have a problem, right? So, and we think we can do this globally. So, and to do this globally and to do this at scale, you need to be clean.
No, even in domestic market, I can see people value the quality for sure. See, if I'm sure my data would not be leaked, and if I'm getting enough or reducing my time in researching, so why should I not pay it instead of going for a free where I get half cooked data and I cannot trust it? Okay, instead, if I'm getting a reliable source and if I'm not scared of losing data or whatever it is, then yeah, I'm happy to pay a little amount. But yeah, many people may not know, many retail investors may not know that buying a AC equity software or a Morningstar software is damn expensive. I personally use their services for some time. I know the one which you are charging is pretty low, and pretty, it is not even 10% here of the annual fee. And one more thing. Is your early bird offer is still running or it's closed?
We just finished early bird sometime back, Sai. So what happened was, from the beginning we were free, and it was absolutely the quality and feedback we were getting from subscribers throughout which shaped us to where we are. And Sai, you were a person right from the beginning, well before we launched also, you were in touch with us saying, improve this, change this, and that really helped us. So what we did is, for some time, for the first 3-4 months after charging, we kept it as an early bird offer so that people who helped us initially get it at a discount. We just finished that maybe about a month ago. So now we're fully.
So if my subscriber want to subscribe Teasery, can I get an offer for them?
Certainly, Sai. I mean, Sai, we owe you so much. From the beginning, you've been helping us throughout. So definitely we'll try and work something out.
Okay. So I might upload this video on Saturday. Can we work something before that so that I can tell my guys this could be the offer code if somebody was interested? Sure. See, there is no force here. Somebody is interested. Okay.
That's we can do that.
Okay. Anything features which you want to show to the subscribers in Teasery?
So as of now, I think we've covered most of it. Like if you take if you want to buy a company and track it, you need to first find it, you need to discover it, you need to research it, then you need to put in your portfolio or your watch list. That journey is what we are building. We are maybe 2% or less than 2% of where we want to be. Till now, we've not done anything that, there's just too much to do and we've not reached anywhere yet. Other than that, no, we'll keep adding stuff and we keep mailing you and whoever else is subscriber what we've added, and that's going to continue for a long time now.
Okay. I want you guys to grow because you are helping me a lot in reducing my time. I've been saying this and I've seen you guys kept on growing and adding a lot of features. And from here as well, I want you guys to grow because I want you to reduce the time and effort which we need to put in research. And see, being a aggregator kind of a subscription based site, okay, if I have to go with the individual research site, they charge pretty high. For a retail investor like me or my subscribers, they are small people. For them to pay 75,000, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh for AC equity or 2 lakhs is not affordable at all, because portfolio sizes itself will not be that much. So okay, that way I want you guys to grow big so that your subscription fee will come down in future, so that if your volume is high, the amount charged will come down, so that everybody can have that access of doing research, equity research.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we want to help people in this regard. Not just time. Right now it's the big brokers and the big fund houses who can tell you that, oh, HDFC's loan market share is going up, down. We want to bring that to the everyday person. It's the other way around here. The retail investor or your subscribers might not be looking at it because it's not easily available. It's not that they don't want to look at it. So we want to change that. People are focusing on PE and share price only because that's what's shown to them easily, not because they think it's the most important.
True. As I said, if you can add that feature of adding manual ratios, okay, that will help a lot.
Yeah, customizability. Even you should be able to change the P&L statement to your view, like YCR view, whatever you want, for sure.
Thank you again. Thanks, Siddharth and Varun, taking out a lot of time and explaining us or giving us a demo of Tizori. And it was really wonderful. And again, I'm saying, I want you guys to grow big so that my life and my subscribers' life will become easy.
Thank you, Sai. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Done. Bye-bye.
Bye.
ఇంటర్వ్యూ మొత్తంలో నాకు బాగా నచ్చిన ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఏంటంటే, వీళ్ళు ప్రతిసారి మాట్లాడినప్పుడు మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారా, వీళ్ళు ఏమన్నారంటే, నేను సింపుల్ థింగ్స్ అన్నీ అడుగుతుంటే, సింపుల్ థింగ్స్ కాదు, మేము హార్డ్ థింగ్స్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయి అంటే టఫ్, మనకి నార్మల్ రీటైల్ ఇన్వెస్టర్కి టఫ్గా దొరికే డేటా ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో వాటిని మేము ముందుగా ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తాం, దాని తర్వాత సింపుల్ వాటి మీద ఫోకస్ చేస్తామని చెప్పారు. అదైతే నాకు చాలా బాగా నచ్చింది. ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ దాట్ నీడ్స్ ఏ క్యారెక్టర్. టఫ్ థింగ్స్ ఫస్ట్ వర్క్ చేయడం, సింపుల్ థింగ్స్ని ఫస్ట్ ఎవరైనా వర్క్ చేయడానికి చూస్తారు, దాని తర్వాత టఫ్ బిల్డ్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తుంటారు. వేరేస్ వీళ్ళు టఫ్ తీసుకొచ్చి ఇనిషియల్గా దాని తర్వాత సింపుల్ థింగ్స్ మీద వర్క్ చేస్తామన్నారు. ఐ లైక్డ్ ఇట్. అండ్ దెన్ వీళ్ళు సైట్ ఎన్విచెస్ నేను చాలాసార్లు మన వేరియస్ వీడియోస్లో యూజ్ చేశాను, మీకు చూపించాను కూడా. సో వేరియస్ ఫీచర్స్ నాకు బాగా నచ్చుతాయి, ఎస్పెషల్లీ బిజినెస్ రిలేటెడ్ డేటా. మనకి వేరియస్ అదర్ రీసెర్చ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్లోని ఫైనాన్షియల్ రిలేటెడ్ డేటా దొరుకుతుంది, వేరియస్ బిజినెస్ రిలేటెడ్ డేటా చాలా తక్కువ వెబ్సైట్లోనే దొరుకుతుంటుంది. సో టిజోరీ ఈజ్ వన్ అమాంగ్ దెమ్. నేను ఇంతకుముందు వేరియస్ అదర్ టూల్స్ వాడేవాడిని, అవి చాలా ఎక్స్పెన్సివ్ ఉండేవి. వేరియస్ టిజోరీ వచ్చిన తర్వాత దాట్ మేడ్ మై లైఫ్ ఈజీ. నో వీళ్ళు ఏదైతే ఆఫర్ని అనౌన్స్ చేశారో, అంటే మనకి డిస్కౌంట్ ఇస్తున్నారో, టిజోరీ వెబ్సైట్కి వెళ్తే ఆ డిస్కౌంట్ ఉండదు, ఓన్లీ ఫర్ మనీ పర్స్ పీపుల్ ఆ 15% డిస్కౌంట్ ఆఫర్ చేస్తున్నారు. నో ఈ డిస్కౌంట్ని ఎవరు యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవాలి, ఎవరికి అవసరం లేదు అన్నది కూడా చెప్తాను. ఎవరు యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ఎవరికైతే రీసెర్చ్ చేయాలని ఇంట్రెస్ట్ బాగా ఉంటుందో వాళ్ళు యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఈ ఆఫర్ని. సెకండ్, ఎవరిదైతే పోర్ట్ఫోలియో చాలా పెద్దది ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళ దగ్గర టైం తక్కువ ఉంటుంది రీసెర్చ్ చేయడానికి, అండ్ అలాగే వాళ్ళ స్టాక్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఈ స్టాక్స్ని ట్రాక్ చేయడానికి కొంచెం కష్టం అవుతుంది అని అనుకుంటారు, వాళ్ళు యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. నో ఎవరిదైతే పోర్ట్ఫోలియో సైజెస్ చిన్నవి ఉంటాయి, అంటే 5-10 lakhs లోపల పోర్ట్ఫోలియో సైజ్ ఉన్నదనుకోండి, ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ మీరు బై చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు గైస్. డోంట్ వేస్ట్ యువర్ మనీ, దాని బదులు ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేసుకోండి ఆ మనీని. ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ దెర్ ఈజ్ నో పాయింట్ అంటిల్నెస్ మీకు అంటే నేను రీసెర్చ్ సైడ్ కొంచెం నాలెడ్జ్ పెంచుకుంటాను, నేను ఫ్యూచర్లో నా పోర్ట్ఫోలియోని పెద్ద చేసుకుంటాను, ఇలాంటి థాట్ ఉంటే డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్. బట్ కానీ చిన్న చిన్న పోర్ట్ఫోలియోస్ ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో, కొత్తగా మార్కెట్లోకి వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో, అంటే వాళ్ళు ఓవరాల్ ఇన్కమే, వాళ్ళ నెట్వర్తే చిన్నది ఉంటుంది. అంటే 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh ఇలా ఉంటుంది కదా, వాళ్ళైతే ఇప్పుడే ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయడం అవసరం లేదు. మీరు ఫ్రీ టూల్స్ యూజ్ చేసుకోండి. దాని తర్వాత మీకు ఎప్పుడైనా పోర్ట్ఫోలియో పెద్దదైన తర్వాత యూ కెన్ యూటిలైజ్ దేర్ ఆఫర్. వీళ్ళు ఏదైతే ఆఫర్ ఇస్తున్నారో ఆఫర్ ఇక్కడ మీకు మామూలు డిస్ప్లే చేస్తారు, ఆర్ కింద కామెంట్ సెక్షన్లో ఫస్ట్ కామెంట్ కింద పిన్ చేసి ఉంచుతాను. ఎవరికైతే ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటుందో యూ కెన్ యూటిలైజ్ ఇట్. ఐ హోప్ ఈ వీడియో మీకు చాలా వరకు హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అయిందని అనుకుంటున్నాను. వీడియో హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అయినట్టయితే తప్పకుండా లైక్ చేయండి. అండ్ ఈ వీడియో మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్కి హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అవుతుందంటే వాళ్ళు తప్పకుండా షేర్ చేయండి. అండ్ మీరు ఇదే ఫస్ట్ టైం మన మనీపర్ స్టాక్స్ ఛానల్కి వచ్చి ఛానల్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయనట్టయితే ఛానల్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేస్తూ పక్కన బెల్ ఐకాన్లోని ఆల్ నోటిఫికేషన్స్ యాక్టివేట్ చేసుకోండి. నేను సాయి కృష్ణ పత్రి మరొక ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూతో కలుస్తాను. టిల్ దెన్ హ్యావ్ ఫన్.